Good morning and welcome to another day of Big Pats Under the Hood. It's early this morning, and as you can see, I've been hard at work on my 82 C10 with the 454. And what I'm doing is, it has an engine in it, but I'm not going to reuse that engine. I'm going to keep it for a core. What I have here, it's a complete engine that I bought some years back that I'm gonna rebuild. So it's the engine is a 40,000 over 454 2-bolt main. Didn't make much power. It came out of a Chevrolet Dually, about the same year model as my pickup. So what I'm gonna do with it is I'm gonna have the engine block. I had it high tanked and everything about a couple of years ago. I'm going to take it back to the machine shop, have them to high tank it, put freeze plugs in it, cam bearings, and I'm also going to do have it line horn, because of the fact that the engine did spin a bearing on the crank, and so I want to make sure that the crank in the crank journey and their journals and everything are true, so I don't have any problem like that. Always when I build an engine, whether if I get it from a junkyard or whatever, or a person, if I'm going to go through it, I'm going to do everything to it so I don't encounter any situations like later on, because parts are high and it's no use to be in a hurry when you could take your time and do something right. Probably drive the Camaro some today, a little bit. Been much needed to been driven. It's been sitting here in the garage, so I need to get it going. As before, I've just been accumulating, cleaning up parts for that came with the engine, in order to take and just diagnose and take and categorize the parts that I would need to buy, in order to put the engine back together. I always feel that it's best if you have a complete engine. If you don't have a core, then rebuild what you have. But if you have a core that's sitting, and you can take another engine out and take a complete engine out and keep it for a good seasoned core, that's the thing to do. And so that's what I'm going to do with the engine that's in the truck. And we'll take a quick look at the engine in the truck, and I know that maybe I'll get some comments coming back asking as if why I didn't take and just use the engine that was in the truck, that had been in the truck. But it just wouldn't be any fun to do that, to just use the one that's in the truck, because it's still, the process is still going to be the same for the one that's for that one also. It still need to be go to the machine shop. It will still need to be line board. It will still need to be high tank, freeze plug, and all that. So as you can see, this is the 1978 454 4-bolt main that was in this truck. Originally, the engine was in my Monte Carlo. That's what it was in my Monte Carlo originally. I took it out of the Monte Carlo and put it in this truck, in my square body truck, because I drive the truck back and forward to work and stuff like that on several occasions. Like if I'm not gonna stay long or anything like that, I'll drive it. So I put the engine in the truck, because the engine that was in here, it had a little blow-by to it, and come to find out that the number 3 cylinder, the piston pin in it, the rod, the small end of the rod, which is the connecting rod in for the piston pin, whoever put the pistons on the rod, they didn't center it, and so over a period of time, that rod grooved the cylinder, and so I had to have that repaired. But I bought the engine from a good friend of mine. It was running, but it just had to blow by, and I just didn't like that. So ultimately, that's why I switched the engine from out of the Monte Carlo and put it here in the truck. Well, I've got to a point now where I'm going to get the truck back up and going. I'm going to get it painted and stuff like that. And so it had just a little small little tick to it. And I don't like that. I don't like to run anything that's doing like that. It has to be 100% or nothing for me. So I diagnosed it, checked it out, and found out that I have the thrust bearing on the crank is bad. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull the engine out. I'm gonna set it on the stand. I'm not gonna do anything with it. I'm gonna go and take the one that I have in the garage that I showed earlier, which is another 454. I'm gonna rebuild that one and get it up and going and put it up in the truck. And like I say, these are the heads that are gonna go on that engine right there. And so I'm gonna put those things up in there and get that done. And these are the pistons. These pistons have been soaking in I had them soaking first in a solution of I had them first soaking in a solution of oil, just oil itself. But then yesterday I introduced gasoline to the mix. So because the gasoline will help to eat away the rust, eat away the rust and whatever they were sitting on there, that'll get them all cleaned up. And then I'll go on the thing of getting them cleaned up, shooting them up with penetrating oil, and actually getting the pistons to move again on the rods and take a list of what needs to be done and what parts need to be ordered. As it stands so far, I need to order all the regular things. Head bolts, I need to get a crank, regardless of which engine it would have been. I need to order a crankshaft for it. So I'm going to order a forged crankshaft for the engine. They got some Mahi rod bearings now that are coated with Teflon that are show real good wear, and they use them in drag racing engine and in NASCAR. So I'm gonna try a set of those and the rod bearings as well. And then I'll go with my tried and true comp cams, valve train and push rods, and they're a setter like that, because I've had a lot of luck out of those. But back earlier, I used to use a lot of stuff that came from different vendors, but found out through trial and error that over the years that comp cam was the best way to go. I mean, they just make a real good product. Price is comparative to everybody else, but I just like the specs of the comp cams. I like the way they last, how they're nitrate hardened and everything, and they really do a great job. You know, you got people that use several other things, but if you stay with the comp cam brand, Insky and Crane and stuff like that, you really getting a great product for your money. And across the board, you can get just about any lift, duration that you want, and just do your homework. You know, if you're building an engine and you're not wanting to use have to get a style converter, stuff like that, then you want to watch your lobe displacement angle. You don't want it to be you don't want it to be less than 109. You know, you want it to be maybe 112 or something like that. And that's the valve overlap. And that's when you get the historic choppy idle. Like in the Monte Carlo here, Monte Carlo here, I have the Super Mother Thumper in it, and that thing is like 107 or 108 lobe displacement angle. And so it's a very choppy, noticeable idle. It's what it is, and that's where that comes from. It's not just the lift. It's not the lift that gives you that. It's the lobe displacement angle. And that means, what that means is how much duration at 50,000s, how close are the valves to being open at the same time. That's what low displacement angle is, simply put. So when you go to buy a cam, if you want your engine to have a noticeable lift, then the smaller the LDA number is, the closer it is to 107, the more choppy it'll be. If you got like a 115 or 116, that it won't be choppy. It'll be a relatively smooth idle. If you got a 112 or 110, it'll have a more noticeable idle than one that's 116. If you really want a real choppy idle, then you have to get like a 107, 108, 109, something like that. And then that there will give you that noticeable choppy idle. And it doesn't matter if you running Flowmaster, if you running Cherry Bums or the new Cherry Bums. It doesn't matter if you running a stock exhaust. None of that matters. None of that matters. That's not gonna make it have that hot rod sound. The mufflers will have a sound of their own, but it will have nothing to do with the resonance from the engine from the exhaust. You can put Flowmasters on it. You can put Cherry Bums on it. You can put boilers on it. You can put the Dynamax mufflers. It don't matter. If the engine is not built with a cam that has a small lobe displacement angle, it will not have the same sound as one that does. Now, the exhaust itself will have its own note, but it will not have that choppy idle. On my Monte Carlo, I don't have Flowmasters on there. I took them off. I put a regular turbo muffler on the car, and I've had the car on the channel several times sitting there running, and you could noticeably hear the engine and the cam in the engine because of the fact that that's what it is. It's not something where I put exhaust on to try to fool somebody. When I crank it up and let it run from the front of the car to the back, you hear that engine, you hear that cam, you hear that super mother thump, and that's what I wanted. That's what I wanted out of it. Well, that's the same way I'm going to do with this pickup here, with my short wheelbase pickup. I'm going to build another big block for it, but I would like to try to go back to a build that I did some years ago when I built a 427 for my Camaro, and I used a cam that was a Comp Cam 268 Extreme Energy, which is a dual use cam. You can drive it on the street, and you can also bracket race with it. And you don't have to have a high stall speed converter in order for the combination to work. You can have regular moderate compression, or you can have high. It doesn't matter. The cam will run with either one of them. So that's the cam I'm going to be looking to buy and put up in this build that I'm doing here, because it's not a real high lift cam. Doesn't have a lot of duration to it, but what it does have is a small lobe displacement angle, and it has a decent lift on it's the dual pattern cam because the exhaust has more lift than the intake, but it's not so hard on your valve train where you have to go and get beehive valve springs, so that you can use the regular valve springs on a big block, no problem. It's not going to float the valves or anything like that. Small block, I've never built one with a small block. I haven't. I've always did one with a big block, and so I can only quote on that. Small block, you may have to check the spring rates of the engine to see if they can handle that much duration and lift without valve float. You may have to change them out and put stiffer springs in it. But at either rate, it's a great cam. It's a very good cam for a traditional push rod engine, no matter who the manufacturer, no matter if it's a Ford, Chevrolet, or Chrysler, doesn't matter. That's a great cam. Comp Cam 268 Extreme Energy is a great cam for any engine, small block or big block. That is a traditional push rod V8 motor, non-LS. It's a very good cam. You won't be sad about it. You know, if you were to look it up and the uses of it, you got a regular vehicle and you just want to put a cam in it, a really nice cam that's not too aggressive but not mild either, where you have that great sound and great power and the good low end and stuff like that, check it out. As far as the LSs go, I haven't really got into the LS because, as you see here, I have a bone stock Super Sport 2 2010 Camaro with the 6.2 in it and the 6-speed transmission. So I bought it like that. I didn't buy it to put anything on, anything like that. I wanted the car to come just the way it came, and I enjoyed it as such. So I'm not, you know, maybe later on down the line, I may put a E-Force, Edelbrock E-Force supercharger on it, something like that. I don't know, may do a whip or anything. I've been kind of looking to see what I want to do with it. If I did want to take the induction off of it and put a supercharger on it and stuff like that. I watched this guy Coverman 66 for years, and he advocates about the ones off the Cadillac and stuff like that, about using the factory parts. But as of now, right now, I've not really decided, because my car is 100% stock. It's don't have a tune, anything like that in it, because I didn't buy the car to try to race the car. I bought the car to enjoy the car, not to tear it up. So that's that. And then on my 2014 Silverado for 4-wheel drive, it has the, when I bought it, it has the multi-port direct port injection or 5.3 in it. Phenomenal engine to be able to move that heavy truck like it does. You know, really good. So, you know, you have a lot of people now buying the 5.3s and the 6.0s and the 6.2, and it's just a matter of preference, because either one of them you can make good power. Whether you got the 5.3, you got the 4.8, you know, whichever one you can get your hand on. You know, I mean, you can't beat it. Whether you go put a carburetor on it with an MSD box, or if you keep it and put 65-pound injectors in it, put the comp cam in it, or whatever you're gonna do, and do some little work with it, you can't go wrong. The thing what I say is, this is the one thing that I want to stress on my channel, is this. Build your vehicle the way you want it. You can look at somebody else's, but don't be in a hurry. If I can't stress one thing enough, let me stress that. Don't be in a hurry with your build. Take and write down everything you want. Take your time and do it. Your engine, your transmission, your wheels and tires, your brakes, your suspension, your paint, your body work, anything you want to do to your vehicle. Write it down. Take your time. Take pictures. Take pictures of vehicles that have something you like or similar to, and look at these different platforms on YouTube of different people. There's so much information out here. Not just my channel, there's several channels. You can look on my page and see the people that I watch, like Stunner Reese, CJ on 32s. I watched the Cover Man. I watched LS Guru. You know, all these people have information that can help you with your build. You don't have to copy their build, but the information that they put out about this and that can really help you to do something. So just think about that, and just go on there on the letterhead on the YouTube, and they'll have engines, they'll have cars, they'll have you know, whatever you're looking for, and just looking at it and see and find something that, you know, has something. But on the local level, with the pandemic that we're under, it's kind of hard to get out. But whenever you can get out to like a car show or something like that, do that. Get out to a car show. You might not see the exact car that you're building. You may be building a car that's off from everybody else. It may not be a traditional car. You know, it may be something that you got your hands on for a good price and that you're going to build. And that's what's so unique and beautiful about this culture, is that you can do that. You can take any car and make it any way you want it. And remember, you're building it for you. You're not building it for me or anybody else. You're doing it for you. And so build it for you, because believe me, somebody else will appreciate what you have done in your vehicle. Take your time, save your money, buy the best parts, assemble them, keep everything clean and neat. And not only will you be happy with it, you won't have to worry about it. And believe me, some more people will appreciate your dedication. So as always, remember, please do this. Share, like, subscribe. But most thing I want you to do, share the video, like the video, join Big Pat's Under the Hood, and please give comments. Let me know if you're doing something similar to what I'm doing. And if you have any questions like that, hit me up. I'll come back to you. I've been doing this for over 40 years. So anything you want to know about, you know, the big block Chevy, the big block Fords, you know, Mopars, anything like that, hey, I've dealt with all of that. I've always been a guy that dealt with big blocks. So I can definitely, you know, if you send a comment out, give it to you. I did a little small blocks a little while ago, but I'm pretty much a big block guy. So, you know, anything on the Ford 429, 460s, the Chevrolet 396, 427, 454, the Dodge Chrysler 383, 400s, 440s, you know, just hit me up, and we will get there together. Have a great day. Thanks for watching. Remember, share the video with somebody.